All right, students, we're going to talk about operant conditioning. And what operant conditioning refers to is the way we learn. And it's different from what we've been talking about the past 2 days. This type of learning makes sense to us, where the classical conditioning really we have to think about. And to me, as a teacher, it does make sense. And it's rewards and punishments. We use this when we train dogs, when we train students, when we train workers. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. Operant conditioning comes up with B.F. Skinner. He is the behaviorist. Remember, we talked about him last month when we talked about Walden 2, and we also talked about utopia. He believed that subjects learn through punishments and rewards. Okay? He believed that that punishments deterred people from doing things, and also with rewards they helped them. It's based on stimulus response reinforcement, meaning I ask my dog, I go, "Hey, Copper," and she runs over to me, and I pet her, and "You're such a good little puppy." That's what that is, operant conditioning. If I ask a student to go get me water, they come back, and I say, "Hey, good job." If you're doing your homework, you get rewarded with a good grade. And it's very different from classical conditioning. Classical conditioning. It's stimulus, reinforcement, response. Remember when I took the student and I put them up front, and every time I said the word can, I threw water in their face. That's reinforcement. Word, water in your face. Word, water in your face. Eventually, when I said the word can, they cringed from the word. Okay? And operant conditioning, the stimulus and then the response. You know, hey, if I compliment a kid, they say yes. They respond. Okay? No, for example, I ask the kid to get water. Kid gets water. Hey, good job. 2 plus 2 equals 4. Hey, you did a great job. All right? And that's what I'm wanting. If I'm wanting the behavior, I praise the kid. If I don't want it, I punish the kid. And that's what we're talking about. Operant is stimulus, response, reinforcement. Classical is stimulus, reinforcement, response. All right? We have 2 different ways to reinforce subjects and reinforcement schedules. First one is ratio schedule. Reinforcement based on correct responses. If I'm talking to a group of students and I tell the students, hey, I ask questions and they do what I want. Hey, good job. If I do that every response or every 3 responses, okay? That's reinforcement based on correct responses. That's a ratio schedule. Interval schedule refers to the reinforcement based on the time between correct responses, okay? Maybe the class, for every 10 minutes, they display proper behavior. I put a mark on the board, and once they get to 120 marks, we have a party. There's a system called the Cantor system that deals with this. Every so often, if the kid does what they're supposed to, the class gets a reward. And then we have fixed and varied. Fixed is a set amount of time, every 10 minutes, okay? Every so often. Let's say a company offers a program that if they go 150 days without a accident, that maybe they treat them to a steak dinner. And I have seen that, and I have done that at Walmart. Varied means it's just random. Maybe, we do a little bit or not, a lot. We're going to go more into that next week when I'm gone. You guys are going to be doing a lab over that. Reinforcement. The stimulus that increases the likelihood of a response. You want the subject to get in, so you're going to say, hey, good job. Hey, here's a treat. We want Copper to go to the bathroom outside, so we feed her a dog biscuit. When she comes back in, it's reinforcement, all right? Now, we see the word positive and negative. We think good or bad thing, and that's not that at all. If you're going to trip on anything, you will be tripping on this, positive or negative, because we think positive and negative as good or bad. Not in operant conditioning. It refers to something given or something taken away. Positive is something given. All right? And yes, it could be good or bad. Pray, for example, well, all right, positive, something given, all right, something added. Negative is something that's taken away, all right, and it could be good or bad again. Let's go a little bit further, all right? Let's think about positive or negative reinforcement. Positive reinforcement means that giving the subject something to make sure the response happens again. And it could be candy, money, praise. Hey, here's a cookie. You did a great job. I know some teachers will like give you a candy bar if you do a great job. Or I know at work sometimes they make you student of the month or teacher of the month or worker of the month. That's it. We want you to do better. All right? Negative reinforcements means it's taking away something from the subject to make sure that the response happens again. All right? Reinforcement is something that's good. Reinforcement is something that's good. All right? For example, if a student came home every time before curfew is directed, the parents may take away the curfew. Hey, son, you made straight A's. That chore of doing the dishes this week? You don't have to do that. That is negative reinforcement. It's a good thing. We're just taking something away that makes it a good thing, okay? Punishment, and this is always a bad thing. It's a stimulus that decreases the likelihood of a response. You really do not want the subject to do it again. The dog goes to the bathroom in the house. I yell at the dog, "Don't do that!" That's a punishment. Or maybe I put the dog in the kennel. When the dog gets in our trash, we send him to the kennel. Positive punishment. You're doing something extra to the subject to deter from this response. Maybe the child gets spanked. Maybe it's added chores, all right? You are adding something to them. Negative punishment is a taking away of something from the subject to change the behavior. Maybe you brought home an F. Mom and dad take away the car, the cell phone. I always said that if my child drives home in a drunk driving, drives home drunk, the car's going to be on sale the next day on Craigslist. And I say that because when you do that, you're putting more than yourself in danger. You're putting others in danger. And that's not what I want to happen at all. And so what does this mean? What does this look like? Strong teacher versus weak teacher. Well, a strong teacher does both. Hey, great job. Gives the reinforcement and the punishment. A weak teacher will not. If you look at parents and you see the kids at Walmart, "I want a candy bar!" Well, and the parents give in. All right? You can't make threats. "I want a candy bar." "You be good, or I'll skin you alive." What's that mean? What does that mean? And that's what we're looking at right here, okay? I can't really do the videos through PowerPoint, but what are the reinforcements and punishments, positive or negative? You can Google, I think, Operant Conditioning, Big Bang Theory to look at that. And then this is another video over the North Carolina Zoo and how they use operant conditioning. What happens if the subject will not give the desired response? All right? We have two types: shaping, reinforcing the subject each time they get close to the desired response. Well, when Copper, we were teaching her how to get to the kennel. When she got close, we praised her and we gave her food. And eventually we asked her to go in the kennel, and she got there. I'm in class. I go, "What's 2 plus 2?" And the kid goes, "It's 4 or it's 5. And then I'm saying, "You're close. You're doing a good job. But that's not correct. And I praise. That would be shaping. Priming is forcing the subject to give you the desired response. If Copper doesn't go to the kennel like she should, guess what I do? Well, you are sent. I push the dog into the kennel. I'm not harmfully. I just pick her up and put her in a kennel. That's priming. Think about this. Let's say you work at a job, and your job is to clean the bathrooms. Well, you clean the bathrooms, and you forget to clean the sink. Your boss comes in and says, "Okay, you forgot to clean the sink. Now clean it." That's shaping. hey, you did a good job, but you need to take care of this. Priming is like grabbing the employee's hand and forcing them to wash the sink with, and that's just very awkward. Finally, we have what we call a secondary reinforcer, and a reinforcer is one that helps meet a need. A good example is I love what I do. I love that I teach, but I come to work and I enjoy my job, and I enjoy hanging out with teenagers. I'm crazy, I know, but a secondary reinforcer is the money. I will tell you, if it weren't for the money, I probably wouldn't do it on a full-time basis. I probably would do it part-time or something like that. But that the secondary reinforcer helps meet that need. Okay? Situations. You don't have to copy these down, but I want you to think this out. And I'm going to just give you about 30 seconds to read it, and then I'm going to talk to you about that. What type of first question we have to ask is this punishment or reinforcement? And is it positive punishment or negative punishment? This the $500 fine is a positive punishment. That means it was given to them. The suspension of the driver's license is a negative punishment. They took away his driver's license. The question is this a reinforcement or punishment? It's a reinforcement because her dad gives her a positive reinforcement. He hands her a candy bar, even though she's been bad. This is a danger with parenting. This is why you need to kind of be aware of what your actions are, because it does create a problem. And what Shelly knows is she can do whatever she wants when she throws a fit. So this is positive reinforcement. Next one. Is this a reinforcement or punishment? That's a positive reinforcement because they're giving the credit card. Is this a punishment or a reinforcement? It's a reinforcement. Is it negative or positive? It's negative. It's taking away an exam. Is this a punishment or a reinforcement? It's a reinforcement. Is it positive or negative? It's positive because the lion jumps through the chair. It means receives a treat. Your assignment, and the kids got to do this in groups of 1 to 4, and I'm also put this in as part of the Canvas video. You are to answer these 3 things and give me like a punishment and a reinforcement. All right? If you have any questions, please email me.